Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope all are fine. Okay, children. Have you learned the last class portion? Yes. Say yes or no? Yes. Shall I ask question? Yes. Okay, what is homostasis? What is homostasis? Okay, learn some of the questions. Okay, what is homostasis, and what is mean by intrinsic, and what is mean by extrinsic type, and what are the asexual reproduction methods. Okay, then what is metabolism, what is anabolism, what is catabolism, what is the difference between anabolism and metabolism. So these are the questions you must prepare. Clear? Okay. Today's class we are going to learn the next topic, viruses. What is mean by viruses, children? What is mean by viruses? Viruses is the one of the very smallest particles. Am I correct? Virus is the ultra microscopic or submicroscopic obligate intracellular parasite. What does mean by parasite? Live on another organism. So that is known as parasite. Obligate means its structure is also complicated. Intracellular means inside the cell. Okay, inside the cells this is living. Okay, so this is the definition of virus, or what is virus. The virus is a ultra microscopic particle or submicroscopic particle obligate intracellular parasite. Clear? The virus word that is obtained from, that's a Greek word. So this is the meaning is poison. This is the meaning is poison. Clear? The virus, they present in two essential components or two components. What are the two components means? One is nucleic acid and another one is protein coat. Okay? The viruses, they present in two essential components. One is nucleic acid and another one is protein coat. Clear, children? So here they present that nucleic acid. I mean this is a genetic material. Either they present RNA or DNA material. Clear? Either RNA or DNA material. Any one of the material is present inside the nucleic acid. Understood? Yes. What does mean by virology? What does mean by virology? What is the term of virology means? The study of virus is known as virology. Clear? The study of virus is known as virology. The next one is we are going to learn size and shape of virus. The first one, the introduction part only over, children. What is virus or define virus? What is the meaning of virus and what is mean by virology? Clear? The next one is we are going to learn what is this size and shape of virus. The size is ultra microscopic particles. It's very minute particle. Okay. Here, compared to bacterial cell, this is very smaller one. The two bacterial sizes they are given in your examples of the textbook, children. First one is it's a bacteriophage. Bacteriophage virus. So this is the sizes they comes under 10 to 100 nm. Okay, 10 to 100 nm. This bacteriophage, the 10 to 100 nm means 1 nm is equal to 10 power minus 9 meters. Okay, 10 power minus 9 meters. The bacteriophage virus, the sizes they declare 10 to 100 nm. 1 nm is equal to 10 power minus 9 meters. Clear, children? Yes. Next one, the size of tobacco mosaic virus. The size of tobacco mosaic virus is known as tobacco mosaic virus. The tobacco mosaic virus, the size is 300 into 20 nm. Clear? This is sizes taken on the 300 into 20 nm. This is the two examples are given in your syllabus. The next one is we are going to learn. First one is this is the size of the viruses. The next one is we are moving to the shape of the virus. Shape of virus. Okay. The shape of the viruses. So here they categorized into they divided into three types. So the viruses are divided into three types based on their shape and symmetry of this virus. Okay, shape and symmetry of virus. What are the three types of viruses means? So that's the first type is cuboid symmetry. Cuboid symmetry. Cuboid symmetry. And second one is helical symmetry. Helical symmetry. Helical symmetry. And the third one complex or atypical symmetry. Complex or atypical symmetry. Clear, children? Oh, the three types of viruses, that three type of viruses, they based on their shape and symmetry of the cell. Okay. First one is cuboid symmetry, second one is helical symmetry, third one is complex or atypical symmetry. The cuboid symmetry, so that's the one best example of this virus is adenovirus. Adenovirus. Adenoviruses. Okay, adenovirus. Then helical symmetry, that's best example of the species is the example of the virus is tobacco mosaic virus. Clear? Complex or atypical symmetry, that's one example of this virus name is Bacteriophage virus. Bacteriophage virus. Clear, children? This is one of the very important 2 or 3 mark question. What are the three types of the virus means? So you have to be right. These three types of virus as well as the examples of virus. Clear? Are you understood, children? Say yes or no? Yes. Good. Good, children. The next one is we are going to learn characteristic features of viruses. The next one is we are going to learn characteristic features of virus. Characteristics features of virus. Characteristic features of viruses. Characteristic features of viruses. The characteristic features of viruses classified into 2 children. First one is living characters, the living characteristic features of virus. And second one is non-living characters, non-living characteristic features of viruses. Okay? But 2 type of characteristic features. They expressing the viruses living characters, so certain times they living characteristic features of viruses and sometimes also they activated non-living characteristic features of viruses. This is very important 2-3 more questions, children. So all should learn thoroughly. Clear? First one, living characteristic features of virus. Living characteristic features of viruses means. First one, the presence that nucleic acid and protein coat. The presence of nucleic acid and protein coat. Then second one, they can be mutation, the capacity to mutate the cell. What does mean by mutation, children? What does mean by mutation? Very good, try it. Try to tell the answer, children. What does mean by mutation? sudden heritable changes. Very good, children. Okay, so it can be our ability to mutation. The next one, so the living characters means they can cause diseases in living being. Okay, that can infect and cause diseases in living beings. The next one, that can ability to multiplying the cell, multiplying this inside of the living cells. This can multiply, the ability to multiply inside the living cells. Okay, outside the host cells which cannot be multiplied. Clear, children? Yes, good. So here, the next one is the next living characteristic features of virus shows irritability. Shows irritability means the last class we have learned irritability. That's a term means if you give any one of the stimuli at the same time, based on that stimuli, they expressing one response. It shows that a certain response. Clear? That's known as irritability. So the living characteristic features of virus that shows irritability. Clear, children? This is the few points comes under living characteristic features of virus. Understood? Yes. Next one is we are moving this non-living characteristic features of virus. Non-living characteristic features of virus means first point can be the virus can be crystallized form. Okay, cannot be or that not activating this metabolic activities. The metabolic activities are absent. The next one, the absence of energy producing system. That's a virus non-living characters means the absence of energy producing system. Clear, children? The next one point, inactivate outside of the host cell. This is inactivate outside of the host cell. So these are the points we are going to learn the non-living characteristic features of viruses. Understood? Once again, so all of you listen, children. So this is very, very important. 2-3 more questions here. First one is living characteristic features of viruses, and second one is non-living characteristic features of viruses. Understood, children? Yes. Next one, we are moving into classification of viruses. The next topic, classification of viruses. The classification is proposed by the classification of virus. The classification of virus. This classification is proposed by David Baltimore. So this person classified the viruses based on some points. First one is that is the RNA production. The mechanism of first point as they mentioning in the term, the mechanism of RNA production. Then second point, the nature of the genome. The nature of the genome. Suppose it's a double-stranded or single-stranded, either that's DNA or RNA. Okay, so that's the point is mentioned. The next point is use that reverse transcriptase. Use that reverse transcriptase enzyme. Okay, so these based only they are classified into the viruses is classified into 7 classes based on that 3 points. First one is mechanism of RNA production. Don't forget, suppose they are asked that 2 more question means you must try to write this answer. Clear? Yes. Mechanism of RNA production and nature of genome, and third one is use reverse transcriptase. Okay. So these based only the viruses are classified into 7 classes. The next one we are going to learn. This is one of the important 3 more or sometimes they will ask 5 more questions. What are the different classes of virus? What are the different classes of virus? So here they mentioning in the 7 classes of viruses. Okay. So you are going to learn first one, the class 1, the viruses with a double-stranded DNA. Then second one, the viruses with single-stranded DNA. The next class, viruses with double-stranded RNA. The next one, viruses with single-stranded RNA. The next one, the viruses with antisense characters. The sense and antisense characters also sometimes they expressing. So here that's a single-stranded RNA. The next one, viruses with plus sense single-stranded RNA. So using this one, the reverse transcriptase enzyme, they replicated with this transgene. This is the nucleic acid. They replicate with this DNA molecule. Clear? The next one, viruses with double-stranded DNA molecule, the reverse transcriptase, the replicate with its RNA molecule. Understood, children? So these are the 7 classes of viruses. So each classes you have to be quoted one example. Clear? The first this type of this class of virus is the example as adenovirus. Second type, the example of this virus is parvovirus. You must learn this virus name, children. Very important. If you are attending this 3 mark or 5 mark, you must write the class's name as well as with the virus species name. Clear? Then third one, so that's a type of, that's a class of viruses. It's an example of virus name is reovirus. Fourth class, Togovirus. Fifth class, Rhabdovirus. Sixth class, Retrovirus. Seventh class of classifications here, Kepna viruses. Yeah? So these are the different classes of viruses. The next one is, we are moving the next topic, viral genome. The next one is, we are moving next viral genome. Viral genome. Okay. First, listen, children. Viral genome means, so here the virus they possess that only one type of nucleic acid. Okay. The virus they possess that only one type of nucleic acid. Either that is RNA or DNA molecules. Okay, either that is representing the DNA or RNA molecule. So that is representing in the strands of, let's say, single-stranded or double-stranded. That is generally, that's a nucleic acid. Generally, that's a form of this. That's a form as they mentioning in a linear or that's a circular form. Okay, what are the forms is appear? Is generally linear or circular form. Clear? Here, learn that 2 terms, children. One is deoxyvirus. 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 And second one is ribovirus. Ribovirus. Okay? The 2 terms comes under in this viral genome. First term is deoxyvirus. Deoxyvirus or deoxyviruses. Okay. The next one is riboviruses. Okay. The next one is riboviruses. Deoxyviruses means, so here the viruses possessing DNA is called deoxyviruses. Clear? The viruses possess DNA is called deoxyviruses. The viruses possess RNA means, so that is called riboviruses. Understood, children? So 2 terms is learned here, deoxyviruses and another one is riboviruses. Deoxyviruses means virus they possess DNA molecule, DNA. So the riboviruses means, so the viruses possess the RNA. Very good, children. Understood, ma? Yes. Then mostly the plant viruses means their presence in the nucleic acid is RNA. Okay. The animal viruses means that's mainly the virus presence in the DNA. But here, the plant tobacco mosaic viruses, so that is presence in that is the DNA molecule. So their plant viruses means RNA, but that's a tobacco mosaic virus, they presence in a DNA material. Understood? Then animal material, animal viruses mostly they presence DNA, but one HIV viruses, HIV animal viruses, their presence in a RNA. Understood, children? Say yes or no? Yes. The next one, the viral genome, the nature of this nucleic acid. The nature of the nucleic acid, that based, okay, that based, the viruses is categorized into four, okay? Four categories of viruses. Four categories of viruses. Nature of this nucleic acid, so that based the viruses are classified into four categories. What are the four categories means? Viruses with first one is single-stranded DNA and double-stranded DNA, and the next one is single-stranded RNA and double-stranded RNA. Clear? This is the four categories of viruses. The single-stranded RNA means, so that's an example of this virus, parvovirus. Parvovirus. Clear, children? Viruses with single-stranded, so that is a parvovirus. Then double-stranded DNA, there is one example is Bacteriophage. Clear? Then single-stranded RNA. So here, that's one example of this virus is tobacco mosaic virus. Clear? The next one, double-stranded RNA, it's a wound tumor virus. The next one is, the example is wound tumor virus. So this is the four categories of viruses based on the nature of the nucleic acid. Based on the nature of the nucleic acid, the viruses they come under four categories. What are they? The viruses with single-stranded DNA, this is parvovirus. Viruses with double-stranded DNA, Bacteriophage. Viruses with single-stranded RNA, tobacco mosaic virus. Viruses with double-stranded RNA, wound tumor viruses. Clear, children? It's very, very important. One of these two more questions here. Okay. The next one was we are going to learn about, let's say, two viruses structures going to learn. Okay. The two viruses structures. It's your syllabus, they are mentioning in two detailed structure of viruses. First one is, they are mentioning in your syllabus, tobacco mosaic viruses. Okay, the structure of tobacco mosaic virus. First one, the tobacco mosaic virus, invented the person name or discovered the person name is known as Dmitry Ivanovsky. That person only, it's a normal plant, okay, normal tobacco plant. So they get it in the normal tobacco plant, they get it this virus. Okay, that's the person name is known as Dmitry Ivanovsky in the year of 1892. Clear, children? Yes. Then, normally the virus, they infecting the healthy plants through some of these vectors. These vectors, like they say, some of the examples of vectors means aphids, locusts. So through this vectors, right, they infect in the tobacco plant. Clear, children? How will you, the tobacco mosaic virus, the infecting the plants means, how will it appear in the symptoms means? First one, discoloration of the leaf along the vein region. Okay? Discoloration of the leaf along the veins region. That's the first symptom. Then sometimes it's appear in a green and yellow patches. I mean, so just like a mosaic-like symptoms. Okay? The leaves or veins region, they just like a mosaic-like symptoms. What will happening after this symptoms means? Okay, what is the response means? The young leaf, I mean that's an apical meristem region. The plant, the apical meristem, that's the apical part of the leaf is downward curling. Okay, the downward curling of this young leaf in the apical part. Apical means, what's the meaning of apical? It's a tip region. Am I correct? Correct. Yes. The next one. So this is the plant growth also stunted and the yield also very reduced percentage. Understood, children? The yield also reduced and also the plant also stunted growth. So these are the symptoms and responses of this infected the tobacco plant. Understood, children? Say yes or no? Yes. Next one. What is the structure of this tobacco mosaic viruses? So here, the structure of tobacco mosaic viruses. The structure of tobacco mosaic viruses. So here, this is the helical shape of this virus. Okay? This is the rod-shaped helical virus. The rod-shaped helical viruses. Here they present the two items, children. One is co-substance. So their presence in a single-stranded RNA. Single-stranded RNA. And then surrounded by that is a protein coat. This protein coat is called, the name is known as capsid. Okay? Then finally, this helical virus measuring about the helical virus, they measuring about 280 into 150 mu m. Okay, the molecular weight is 39 into 10 raised to 6 Daltons. So this helical virus, they measuring about 280 into 150 mu m, and so with this virus the molecular weight is 39 into 10 raised to 6 Daltons. Okay, the next one, this protein coat. So finally the protein coat region, this individual identical subunit is surrounded by this central core, children. So this single protein subunit is, that's name is known as capsomeus. That's the name is known as capsomeus. Clear? Are you understood, children? Say yes or no? Yes. The next one, this single-stranded RNA. So the genetic information, that's a genetic information is a complete for this tobacco mosaic virus particles. Okay, the genetic information is very essential for that. This made up of this tobacco mosaic virus particle. Here, how many this single-stranded RNA molecule, how many nucleotides are present inside this RNA means. So the presence in it 6,500 nucleotides are present. Okay, the RNA molecule, their presence in it 6,500 nucleotides. Clear? This is very important, one of the simplest questions, children. Suppose if they are asking that 5 mark question means you must draw this diagram as well as you write that content. Clear? Suppose they are asking that 3 mark question means Draw and label the structure of tobacco mosaic virus. Clear? Are you understood, children? Say yes or no. Say yes or no. Yes. Good. Very good. The next one we are going to learn the second one of this viruses is Bacteriophage virus. Bacteriophage virus. Bacteriophage virus. Clear? The next one is, this is the first structure of tobacco mosaic virus. The next one is second structure of bacteriophage viruses. Clear, children? First one, what do you mean by bacteriophage? Very important one of the 2 mark questions, children. What do you mean by bacteriophage? The first one, the virus infecting bacteria are called. The viruses infecting bacteria are called, bacterial cell are called bacteriophage. Viruses infecting the bacterial cell is called bacteriophage. This phage means to eat. So, to eating of the cells. So, the eaters of the cells. Okay, literally that's meaning of bacteriophages. Eaters of bacteria. Clear? The bacteriophages, mostly or abundantly present in soil, sewage water, fruits, vegetable, milk. So these are the items they present bacteriophage virus. Clear? The next one is we are going to learn structure of bacteriophage. Clear? Structure of bacteriophage. So this bacteriophages, they comes under many examples, children. The bacteriophages T2 phage, T4 phage, T6 phage. So these are the certain phages names. Okay. It's your syllabus. They are given that T4 bacteriophage. T4 bacteriophage. The next one is we are moving to learn structure of bacteriophage. First one. The T4 phage, this T4 phage, this is the structure of T4 bacteriophage, tadpole shape. Okay, what is the shape, children? Tadpole shape. Tadpole shape of virus. Tadpole shape of virus. This consisting of head region, collar, basal plate, this region, basal plate and tail fibers. This all the items they present in this bacteriophage. Understood? Bacteriophage, they consisting of head, collar, tail fiber and the last, that's the basal plate region. Understood, children? Yes. Here, the headed region, that's a double-stranded DNA molecule is present. So, this double-stranded molecule, this is the double-stranded DNA molecule. Here they present in a 2000 identical protein subunits that is tightly packing in this area. Okay. The head is the hexagonal in shape. The head is the hexagonal in shape. So, here they present in a 2000 identical protein subunits are packing in this area. Understood, children? Next one, the tail fiber. This tail, so that is connected in the central region. One tubular core-like structure is there. The tail fiber that is connected to the head by a collar region. Understood, children? Then the tail fibers of 6 spikes-like structures is present. The tail fibers, that's a 6 spike-like structure is present. What is the use of this tail fibers means? So this one is fixing or attaching to that bacterial or that's a host body. Okay, the host cell surface to fixing of this phage particles into bacterial cell. Okay, during the replication time, so this is very to use that fix that cell surface, the host cell wall surface. Understood, children? Say yes or no? Yes. The next one is, this is the DNA. This is the DNA material. The 50 mu m. That is the molecule that is tightly packing inside the head. Okay? That's a DNA molecule about 50 mu micron is tightly packing inside the head. Then next one, the DNA is about 1000 times longer of this phage body. Okay, so here the packing of this DNA. No, this is very lengthiest one, very longer, children. So this DNA is 1000 times longer than that body, phage body. Clear? This is the structure of bacteriophage. This also very important. Another one, 5-mark question, children. What is bacteriophage? Virus infecting bacterium is known as bacteriophage. The next one is, learn, that's a 5-mark question. What is the structure of bacteriophage? Suppose they are asking that 3-mark question. Draw and label the structure of bacteriophage. Clear, children? Are you understood? Yes. So here you have to be prepared some of this 2-mark question, and mainly you learn that, so you must learn that is the 2 5-mark question. So the 2 structure of tobacco mosaic virus and bacteriophage as well as the diagram part. Okay. Thank you, children. Thank you, students.